Hello and welcome to InvestorToday.ca. I'm your host, Dave Glover. InvestorToday.ca is brought to you in conjunction with RBL Communications, your online IR professionals. We are coming to you live from the Chicago Resource Expo in Rolling Meadows, Illinois. It is Saturday the 28th of April, and I am sitting with Mr. Ronald Shorr, who is the CEO and chairman of the board for Maudore Minerals. Maudore, which trades on the TSX under the symbol MAO and on the OTCB bulletin boards under the symbol MAOMF. Ronald, welcome to the show. Can I call you Ron?
Thank you, Dave. Ron's fine.
Welcome to the show, Ron. Well, I guess the first thing I want to ask you is what is Maudore Minerals and where are you located?
We're a high-grade gold property in Quebec. We've been around for about 15 years. And I've been chairman of the board and chief executive officer of the company for about half that time period.
And you're in Quebec, as you said. Now, we've already interviewed a couple of companies that are from Quebec, and Quebec seems to be one of those jurisdictions globally that is particularly popular for mineral exploration.
Well, I think it's by far the best place to look for minerals. It starts off by being virtually the only place in the world that actually gives you money back if you spend it in Quebec, so that when we do drilling or assay work or have field geologists to pay, we get roughly 40 cents back on the dollar about a year later.
Wow.
And on top of that, permitting is easier in Quebec, faster anyway. The standards are as high as anywhere else. Our drillers get paid much less than anywhere else. And Quebec is the site of North America's cheapest power. For example, about 2 kilometers away from our property is the power line to the James Bay Hydro Project, and we will end up paying less than 4 cents per kilowatt hour for power. That's
wow.
A stunningly low number.
Well, and you know, when we talk about infrastructure, especially for exploration, one of the biggest issues is access to power. And so having that access to the cheap power grid, especially with Hydro-Quebec, I mean, as we know, the James Bay facility is huge. It's one of the largest hydro facilities in North America anyway, maybe
Sure.
even the world. Now, let's talk about your location in Quebec. Whereabouts is Maudore Minerals located?
We're about 120 kilometers north of a town called Val-d'Or. We're in the Abitibi-Greenstone Belt, which is second only to the Witwatersrand area of South Africa in terms of historic gold production. The belt itself has probably produced 175 million ounces of gold. Most of it, 100 million, has come from the Quebec side, and maybe about 75 million from the Ontario side. We're in the northeast portion of that belt. We're so well located. We've got a highway going right by the property, and we've got these logging roads off the highway that are paved or very wide and well maintained, and we're surrounded by water, and we've got a town near us which has a population of fairly well-trained people. They're natural resource oriented because it's a forest products town, so very positively inclined towards our project. Our infrastructure setup couldn't be any better.
Oh, exactly. I mean, and I've talked to a number of exploration companies over the last couple of days here. I've been at the Chicago Resource Expo, and the one thing you hear over and over again is infrastructure. It's about accessibility, about being able to drive to your property, being able to have ready, available hydroelectric power so that you can power your project and move it along forward. And so skilled trades and skilled labor as well in the area. Because, of course, Val-d'Or, Quebec is one of the primary mining communities, if you will, in that part of Canada.
It's been a boom town. Even during the recession, I had trouble getting rooms many nights when I flew into the property. Really? It weathered the 2008 and 2009 period without flinching.
So there we go. And again, another great point for juniors, especially because a lot of companies right now, let's face it, are woefully undervalued given the way the junior markets have just been taking a pounding. Can we talk a little bit about your share structure?
Well, we've kept a very tight share structure. We have 26.7 million shares outstanding, 30.3 million fully diluted. Gosh, there's startups that have 50 million, and we have a 1.2 million ounce resource on our 43-101. We're far from being a startup, and we've got tremendous potential on both the eastern and western side of our resource, which is about 1.8 kilometers long, and we're drilling on the eastern part of the extension, and we're getting some phenomenally good results. We had a 673 gram intercept that we reported late last year that was outside our resource area but on this eastern extension. So this looks like it could have dramatic potential for increasing if it continues the way it has been.
So very active drills. Can we talk about the drilling activity past, present, and where we're going into the future?
In each of the last 2 years, we've drilled about 80,000 meters. Wow. I mean, the typical junior mining company is, maybe 10,000 meters.
That's right.
We operate our drills, 4 drills, by the way, ever since the beginning of 2010, and we operate those drills 24/7, and we are able, this is very unusual, most companies have drilling seasons, some of them in northern places can only drill for 3 or 4 months out of the year.
That's right.
We give our drillers 1 week off. We're very nice. We let them off between Christmas and New Year's. So we're operating 51 weeks a year, 24/7.
Wow. So again, this is a company that is heartily involved in making that discovery, moving the company forward. So which brings me to my next question, which is what makes Maudore a choice for investors? Obviously, year-round drilling is a great advantage.
Well, on top of all that, we've really got great grades. Our open pit portion of our 43101 resource comes in at 3.2 grams. That's probably about 4 times the grade of the typical new open pit resource today. Our underground deposit below that, open pit is about 500,000 ounces. Underground, we have almost 750,000 ounces in our resource, and that runs about 7 grams. That's probably twice the typical underground deposit. So when you combine the tremendous grades we have with the infrastructure and the low-cost power, I'm hoping and expecting we'll end up being a low-cost operator.
And it sounds like you've got a really hard-working, dedicated team at Maudore Minerals making it happen.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm insistent that this thing move forward at a very fast pace. I want to find the maximum amount of gold in the minimum amount of time. And it isn't easy because discovery is a lengthy process, but we're pushing it ahead really fast.
Well, and I've been talking to Maudore Minerals, Chairman, CEO Ronald Shorr, which is a high-grade gold company located in Quebec, very busy, 51 weeks of the year they're drilling. So if you're looking for a company that's going to provide you with results in the shortest amount of time, I would think that Maudore Minerals in Quebec is probably one of those companies. It trades on the TSX under the symbol MAO, on the OTCB bulletin boards under the symbol MAOMF. And as always, I like to give my guests the last word, Ron. Is there something that you want to say to your current shareholders or maybe potential shareholders that we haven't discussed?
Well, we hired about a year ago a chief operating officer who's doing all kinds of steps to put us closer and closer to a production decision, and that's proceeding real well. We've had some really great metallurgy results that we reported on in January. We've had a lot of work done on base studies, moving towards the environmental permits, baseline studies, and we're developing great community relations. The mayor of the town closest to us is president of the Northern Quebec Mayor's Community. So he's much on our team and very well liked, a former board member at the Quebec Hydro. So all of those things are in place to de-risk the property and go ahead and hopefully get a production decision out of this within a fairly short period of time.
Well, that's fabulous for the investors and current shareholders. Congratulations on Maudore Minerals. Again, it's Maudore Minerals. It's located in Quebec, high-grade gold. www.maudore.com. It's Maudore Minerals, MAO, on the TSX and on the OTCB. One more time, MAOMF. I'm Dave Glover from the Chicago Resource Expo. We'll see you next time.